Oliver Anthony is back in the news because after he took the music industry and really the political landscape by storm last week or 2 weeks ago now, he has rocketed to the top of the Billboard Hot 100 charts in his first ever outing on the platform. That's crazy.
I'm sure this is also record-breaking for like people who don't have a studio behind them.
Yeah, it says the only other artists who had done this were the likes of like Zayn and Kelly Clarkson, or I'm sorry, Carrie Underwood, people with major label backing on them, right? So number one in his first entry, and it does speak to what's going on with the culture, because if you have something that rings true with people, a lot of people will show up to support it. I looked up like how they tabulate the results. Apparently it's a calculation between physical sales, digital sales, and online streaming in the US. So obviously I don't know if there are physical sales of this album, but obviously digital sales, yes. And he's
quit his job.
Yes, and he's become like a weirdly polarizing figure because it seems like everyone's out to get him. And it's like I saw some people doing just the craziest like deep dives into the song and trying to figure out the hidden racist meaning behind the song and all of these things, and it's just a mega ultra cope. And Mary even kind of she checked me a little bit, because at one point I was like, when we were reading like one of these ridiculous interpretations of the song, and I was like, look, it's just a frickin' song. And you're like, well, that's what
whenever we go on and talk about Barbie for 30 minutes straight, people are like, it's just a movie, exactly. Bro. Why do you care so much? So I had to check myself there. You were right. It's obviously, but I felt like their interpretations were extremely ridiculous and over the top. And then, of course, Rainn Wilson got involved. Dwight got involved and basically said that it's his fault because, you should be mad at rich people, he said, rather than poor people. If I were writing a song about rich men north of Richmond, I wouldn't talk about obese people on welfare. I'd sing about CEOs who make 400 times their average worker's salary, up from 50 times 30 years ago, and corporations that pay zero taxes and offshore tax shelters for billionaires.
I think it speaks to like the number one difference between somebody like him and what that song seems to be talking about is like some people would rather be taxed less and keep their own money and be responsible for their own actions, and other people would rather everyone be taxed more and expect the government to take care of them.
Well, I think that this is just Rainn Wilson not understanding that the tone of the song is self-deprecating. Yeah. Almost to a fault, in my opinion, which is why, I didn't have some kind of galaxy brain take on the song. I just didn't quite like the tone of it. I thought it was kind of whiny and self-pitying and defeatist and impotent. And that's intentional, that's the tone of the song. Rainn Wilson didn't really grasp that.
But he's kind of got he doesn't have a point, but now it's just weird how the media seems to be out in force to get this dude. I saw this came up like if you go to, here, I'm going to put it up on screen here. If you go to the Newsweek website right now, they've got two separate articles on him. Like, why is Newsweek so interested in this dude?
What are the headlines?
One says, is Oliver Anthony a Republican? Country singer's political beliefs explored. And another one, which we will talk about, says, Oliver Anthony accused of promoting anti-Semitic 9/11 conspiracy theories. Why are they so interested in this
from
dude?
Ben Lorber says, Oliver Anthony, country singer behind the new conservative anthem Rich Men North of Richmond, has a public YouTube playlist recommending videos that make your noggin get bigger. 3 of the 48 videos on the list are devoted to anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about 9/11. So some of the titles: Fox News segment on the dancing Israelis.
Do you want to explain what that was?
Basically, there's this theory that there were 5 Israelis celebrating 9/11 who possibly were Mossad agents that were responsible for the attack. There wasn't proof that they were any way responsible, but they were seen by a witness account in New Jersey celebrating the attack and taking pictures in front of the Twin Towers collapsing. And
by the way, Matt Kelly has a very smart comment. He says, accused of promoting what weasel words? Exactly, because what happened here is somebody found like a public YouTube playlist of his. It just wasn't private. That was his first mistake. You gotta private your playlists, private everything, lock it down before you make your debut as a niche internet micro celebrity.
just lock it all down.
Tiffany Gomez is the way.
Tiffany Gomez is definitely the blueprint for that.
She is. But it kind of shows you how scared they are of losing control, especially music lately, right? Because yesterday we talked about Taylor Swift, and we talked about her issues with Scooter Braun and him buying her music publishing out from under her because it wasn't hers to begin with. It belonged to a label. And so now what they're learning is there's more to be made if you own your own work. It's just a hell of a lot more work on your own part to do, right?
Yeah, he said that's why he was turning down these it was an $8 million record deal where he'd be touring across the country.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's a bad idea in general for anyone's mental health.
Yeah.
To do something like that, to take that deal, because it just
especially now when he's
turns your
nobody.
entire life upside down.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you came from absolutely nothing like a month beforehand, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like that would go south.
Also, I hope, like, my hope is that he's developed like the tools to deal with the fame, because he's recently sober, and that is a lot to deal with when you've recently gotten sober, as I can attest to, right? That's not an easy road to go down.
I just think that a lot of people made the mistake of looking at this guy and wanting him to be the avatar for their political movement or political pet issues, and they were like, he's our guy, blah blah blah. When he's just a guy that you came across, you know nothing about him, his past, his present, or future. And he probably would prefer it that way, honestly. And now he's done an interview with Fox News where they were asking him about political division in America. And he literally repeated the kindergarten line, "Diversity is our strength." Let's look at the video real
I
quick.
got that here. Hold on.
I mean,
there's a $20 one right there from Justin G.
Justin G. Those in power want to destroy Oliver Anthony because he threatens the music industrial complex. He is not beholden to any label, and they hate that someone can rise to #1 without their approval and peddling.
Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with that, because they don't want people to get more concrete examples that can be done. But I think here's the other thing, though. What you're seeing from him is the exception, not the rule. If you look at the amount of work someone like Tom McDonald has to do to release his own music, it's an unbelievable amount of effort put in, and the average artist just isn't willing to be that much of a workhorse all the time for the results that these mainstream celebrities get with half the effort, because they don't keep all the profits, right? So they don't like these examples being shown of the different ways in which that could happen, because, like you said, it does threaten
some evil Scooter Braun somewhere is trying to buy up Oliver Anthony's music.
Here's the clip.
we are the melting pot of the world, and that's what makes us strong, is our diversity, and we need to learn to harness that and appreciate it and not use it as a political tool to keep everyone separate from each other, you know? I mean,
I agree with him on the face. He's right. We do. Both sides do this too.
I disagree with him on its face.
Both sides do absolutely try to use it to their advantage, and both sides then claim that the other side doesn't. Mm-hmm. Or both
we
guys.
Got one from Clint. He said, sorry, I'm waiting for it to come up. I think anyone that has lived a paycheck to paycheck life can say that Oliver is their guy, regardless of political leanings.
That's
you
fair.
Don't have.
Yeah.
I don't.
You
think
shouldn't
that
call. I don't think that's the smartest idea.
Why would you have faith in someone on a personal level because they're from the same social strata as you?
Yeah. Thank you. Hold on. Hold please. Hold please.
Thank you.
It's party time.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't think that's how they're looking at him. I think, because I know it connected with me, and you look on TikTok and yeah, I'm a boomer, okay?
Yik yak.
And Yik Yak. And there's a bunch of videos of dudes that are at their blue collar ass jobs, and they're just taking videos of whatever's going on. They're working on a coal mine, they're working at the oil field, whatever. And it's just got the song playing in the background, and it says something like, when I come home and I'm grumpy, it's not because I don't love you, my family. It's like, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's not that he's their guy. It's like, no, he literally is the average person. Because when I was working blue collar jobs, that's how I felt. I come home, I'm tired. Yeah. And exactly what he's saying in the song is like, that's how I feel. He's literally just saying what I'm saying, and now finally everybody's hearing it.
Also, I disagree. What I'm saying is I disagree with the first part. I agree with the second part that both political parties use it to divide everyone, and I don't think that that's a hard thing.
Use what?
Use our differences to divide us. They absolutely do.
Yeah,
they absolutely do.
Yeah.
I think those divisions already exist.
Doesn't mean that they don't exploit
nature.
it further. They absolutely exploit it further. And so I'm not agreeing with the first part. I'm agreeing with the second part of what he said.
I mean, I think
the
that's
first
that
part is
Marxist
just a canned
impulse
phrase.
to level all distinctions and differences between people.
Yes, but he's also not a politician. He's just some guy. I don't think he maybe understands that or realizes that's not like the appropriate thing to say in those kind of situations, which kind of goes back to the whole we should not be picking him as our guy.
Yeah, you shouldn't look at any celebrity as your guy.
Yeah,
like
he's just a guy.
He's just a person, and you're always in for a world of hurt if you allow yourself to identify too heavily. It's like the song "Stand" by Eminem. You're in for a world of hurt if you spend your time expecting celebrities or anybody that you know in a parasocial way to live up to the standards you have for them. That's not the way the world works, and it's not smart living.
A lot of people who liked the song felt more passionate about hating people who didn't like the song than they felt passionate about liking the damn song. Like,
I would say this kind of goes back to the whole Hassan thing, where all the people.
Oh yeah, what is this? Your beef with Hassan Piker?
It's like, well, I just don't like the guy. But like, besides the fact, I was watching a bunch of people's reactions. I like hearing people's reactions to music because I love music. I want to hear other people's opinions. And I'm watching, it comes on autoplay, Hassan Piker, and he's talking about the song, and he just has the most malevolent ass take where he's saying, like, first of all, he's calling Oliver Anthony a fat guy, complaining about people that are fatter than him and like people that are poorer than him. And I'm like, if this is your take, dude, like, you are so out of touch if this is what you think. Anyway, I clipped it. I put it on Twitter, X, whatever. And I literally explained what happened. He laughs at the lyrics, makes fun of them, calls Oliver Anthony poor, and then he malevolently states that, like, you know, yeah, he probably doesn't have a job because woke liberal policies have gutted the whole industry out there. And I was just like, you're literally like standing on your soapbox and grinning about this. Yeah. And it's like, you're just an evil dude if this is your take. I post it online late at night. I go to sleep, I wake up, and I look, and I'm like, oh, Hassan retweeted it. Like, the post is popping off. I was like, let me mute this first of all, because like I don't need any of those reactions coming through to me, because like I'm not trying to have a mental health episode. Yeah. And
like Hassan is.
Like Hassan is. So yeah, everybody, they just have like the worst takes about it. My God, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it blew up. It got like 4.2 million views. I was like, that's insane. Forget the content. I've never had anything with my name attached to it.
I just don't want to identify with any celebrity, whether they actually agree with me or not. It's why I love so much about, like, I love like 80s cheese movies and the rah-rah American patriotism of the early 2000s post 9/11, because I understand that what I'm watching, it speaks to certain aspects of my personality as far as patriotism go, but it's not like I buy that all these celebrities buy this stuff. I understand that entertainment is inherently, in most cases, propaganda in some way, shape, or form, but I don't identify heavily with any one celebrity, any celebrity really, because one, you don't know them, you not on a personal level. That doesn't make them bad. It just means that you save your attention and save those thoughts for the people that are in your actual life, and worry about that. Like, they're going to let you down. Yeah. They're going, especially if you develop too close of an attachment to their work, right? Like, think about how many people were like just aghast when Bruce Springsteen kind of came out to be the weirdo that he is now, and they're like, but I love Born in the USA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you can love the song, you don't need to love the artist, and I think that that's the safest way to consume art. Now, we're kind of in an era where, like, we're through that now. Now what people are looking for is art they identify with, art made by people, like they say, look for stuff from people that don't hate you. And is as good of a rallying cry as that may be.
It sounds nice, but like, what does that look like in practice?
Yeah.
It just means probably being Amish.
It just means like, look, do I have more in common with the people like releasing stuff from the Daily Wire than the people releasing stuff from Hollywood? Sure, I guess, but I'm just not willing to look at art that way.
Yeah.
I'm just not. Like but it doesn't mean I'm not going to be any less critical of the stuff from the people who clearly don't like us. Yeah. But, it's part of the job. It is what it is. And I'm better at, separating those things in my life and not looking at it that way. I applaud the people who are able to be that passionate about what they consume that way, as far as how it holds to their moral values, I guess. But I don't choose to interpret or take art in that way.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I get you.
But I get it. I get it for people. So we'll see how it goes. I think it does. I think the bigger concern here is at the end of the day, it's not about the politics. I think you're right. I think it's about what it proves that what you can do in the music industry with fierce backing from people who do take the approach who do take the approach opposite of me, who do want to be behind artists that they feel I identify with heavily, strongly, right? Yep. So, we'll see how it goes for the dude. I wish him the best, and I really do hope more than anything that he's able to remain sober and keep his head about him, because it would be the most tragic loss would be that if he loses himself in it. So I hope that that's not what happens. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.